Good day, everyone. This is Polyphenols, and welcome to DDO Players, where we take a look at the latest news of DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. How are things going over in Barovia?
I am trying to find the villager that pissed off Elsa from Frozen. Once I find said villager, there is going to be hell to pay.
Someone... Oh... Someone sent a nasty letter to Elsa. All
yes, right. and it made her mad, and she is seeking her revenge. I will find you, sir. I will find you.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So I am going to then take it that things aren't very warm over in Barovia then.
Very snowy, very cold, very frozenish like. So, yes.
And then let us go and see what's in the news for this week, where we heard that there is going to be a producer's letter coming next week. Do you think it's really going to happen?
Supposedly, yes. Target date is going to be Wednesday. Cordovan on his weekly Wednesday show today was pretty confident that it would actually be this Wednesday. So confident, in fact, he did announce that next week's weekly Wednesday live stream, starting at noon on Wednesday, is going to have executive producer Sutherland, who will be discussing the producer's letter and the anniversary event and all of that fun stuff. So we'll see if it happens, but he was pretty confident it was going to happen Wednesday. So the letter should be out Wednesday. We'll see. So that means the next week podcast will be dissecting that.
Dissecting it, looking at every little detail.
Exactly. Hopefully there's some good stuff. Like I said, I think the biggest thing that's going to come out of the producer's letter is we're going to find out what the next classic pack is. Unless they've been totally keeping something under wraps that they haven't hinted about or anything. That's going to be the biggest thing, I think. So we'll see. Maybe there'll be some like big surprise in there and we'll be like, oh my God. Doubtful, but we'll see.
I doubt they're going to do anything overly ambitious this year, considering...
I don't think so. Like I said, I think the biggest news we're going to get is the classic pack and when that's going to come out, or estimated date at least for that to come out. We'll see, though.
Are you going to make a prediction on what that's going to be?
You know, I tried to, and I have no idea. I have no clue. Because usually they kind of try to tie it, around something, and there's really nothing for them to tie it around this time. So I've got no clue. We'll see. I'm going to be super surprised, and I might be super pissed off next week. We'll see. Or I might be super happy. It depends. You don't know which track you're going to get next podcast. Stay tuned to find out.
Expedition to the barriers. Okay.
That would be awesome. I personally still want Tomb of Horrors.
Tomb of Horrors. Yeah. It's trouble with Tomb of Horrors is, well, that's going to be how many ways can you die?
Right, exactly. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. But Wednesday, hopefully, producer's letter, we'll be talking about it next week.
All right. Then, of course, there's also the possibility of things relating to the anniversary, but it looks like they have already announced the gifts that are coming out for the 15th anniversary.
They haven't really announced it. Cordovan kind of teased them today. Our 15th anniversary isn't coming. The actual date of the anniversary is 2/28, but the gifts possibly, he said, might be ready, and that might be live on Wednesday as well. So we'll see if that happens. We're getting 2 gifts this year. He just said one is going to be practical and one is going to be a cosmetic.
All right. Practical.
And that could mean a lot of things. Practicality covers a big section of stuff. So Once again, no clue. We'll have to wait to see what's in store for us. But yep, 2 gifts, 1 practical, 1 cosmetic. That was Cordovan's little tease today. As I said, the actual anniversary date is 2/28. The anniversary event also incoming as well. He didn't say when that would start. Usually, if I remember right, it usually starts a little before the actual anniversary date. So that should be starting probably next week or the week after as well.
Well, the week after would be after the start of the anniversary.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I keep forgetting, like, February is a short month.
February's a short month.
We're in the middle of February already. I can't keep forgetting that. So I would think the anniversary event will be live as well. He did announce that included in that is, remember, was it 2 years ago? They released those codes once a week that you could get all the cosmetic house cloaks. If you, for some reason, didn't get any of those cloaks, or you missed one, or you wanted one on a different character, those are going to be available in the anniversary event, so you can spend your anniversary party favors for those house cloaks, if you would like. And he did also...
I'm sure I got any of them.
I'm trying to think. I think maybe I got the Caneth one on Caneth, maybe. That was the... I think I forgot about it, and then by the time I remembered, I should enter all those codes, it was too late. Yeah. So, and also, you'll be able to get a new cosmetic crown and a new cosmetic pet. Don't know what either one of those are going to be. That's all we know. They're coming as well. And that's all we know so far. So we'll have to see. And it was brought up during the live stream today that none of this is actually on Lamania, because there is a current Lamania build right now. For the new raid and some of the other changes they're doing. The anniversary event and none of the gifts or anything are on there, and that is on purpose because they're keeping everything a surprise.
Okay. Then let's head into DDO Chronicle issue 413, where it looks like another Feywild picture.
Yeah, pretty soon it's going to be anniversary event stuff. I'm going to go out on a limb and say next week's cover is going to be anniversary event-ish. We'll see if that hypothesis is correct. But yeah, definitely a Feywild cover. Issue 413, as you say, that is a lot of Chronicles. We do have our community spotlight, and we are in the community spotlight for our interview that we did last week with the Dark Celtics, along with Artemis and Cordovan about the music of DDO and Lotro and the new raid and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and a lot of other stuff. We kind of covered a lot in that interview. And thank you to everybody that has downloaded and watched that or streamed it. I looked today as I was doing something else, and that is a pretty popular episode. So thank you so much for all that. And I did have a couple people kind of say some kind words and everything about it too. So thank you for that. It's always good to hear everybody likes the stuff that we put out, and everybody really seems to like this episode. So thank you for that. Also in the community spotlights, Strim Tom is delving in to the latest Lamania preview, which was the Lamania preview that was last week, not this week's, because he's not a time traveler. Timey-wimey and stuff. So you can click over to see what Strim Tom thought of last week's build, and I'm sure he'll do one for this week. Time travel is confusing. Also, 2 members of the Lava Divers Guild did a R4 Curse of Strahd raid. Oh my god, Reaper 4 Curse of Strahd, you were crazy. Watch the video and read about how it went over on the DDO forums. Reaper 4 Curse of Strahd, good on you. In the fansite news section of our Chronicle, DDO Cast is chatting about the Players Council with Cordovan, and they continue their series on building a tank. So click over and watch that episode of DDO Cast. Don't forget, DDO Stream is the first stop to find DDO over on Twitch. This week, Doug Glendower goes through some old records. Brock and friends celebrate American football. The real football. Ooh, I went there. I went there. And Brighter Days... I could say more, but I won't. Brighter Days Ahead has some more double... I can never say that word for some reason. I don't know why I cannot say that word. That word,
Devilry?
Thank you. I have a mental block. I cannot say that word. I can say devil, but I can't add the RY to the end of it for some reason. I don't know why. I've tried. I just cannot. I start to say it, and my brain says, nope, you're not going to complete that sentence.
Boy, I was just thinking because there's a Lotro quest called New Devilry.
I remember that.
Could you imagine you trying to say that one?
I remember that. I always just say, yeah, that new D quest. That's the one that I read. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I said, it's some mental block I have that I don't know how I got it, and I don't know how to fix it, but I just cannot say that word.
Especially when you consider that I would think Strahd would be the source of quite a bit of devilry.
Right, exactly. It's bizarre. Anyway, over on YouTube, lots of videos over there as well. Tharaza completes an Reaper 5 Old Baba's Hut. Axel is discussing the future of Reaper difficulty. And Ice Damon finds proof in the poison. We have, of course, a canonical comment. What is the most romantic place in DDO? Of course, this chronicle came out before Valentine's Day, so that question makes sense.
Most romantic place?
Romantic place in DDO.
In DDO. You're asking me?
I had to think about this. I really had to think about this. And the only thing I could come up with, I actually have two answers.
Okay.
My first answer is just kind of a tongue-in-cheek answer because it's kind of funny. The Tomb of the Immortal Heart, because it's an immortal heart. All right, sure. They can't all be winners, finally, okay? They can't all be winners.
Apparently not.
And then everybody would love a little day spa trip over to Ataraxia's Haven. Who wouldn't want to go to Ataraxia's Haven and the day spa? So there you go. So I have two answers this week.
Who wouldn't want to go there?
Are they good answers? No, they're not good answers. But hey, I tried. We'll move to the screenshot of the week. And that is Sayaka Greenleaf is celebrating a win at the Snow Peaks Festival in the whatever. Oh, I guess this week it doesn't mention a number. It's just the screenshot of the week this week. I guess we've stopped counting because they have so many. That's our chronicle.
Then let's go and see what is coming in from the dungeon. Where it looks like they have decided to remake the Temple of Elemental Evil. Not one that silly Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil or anything like this, but Goodman Games is opening up the original.
They are. They have announced about this time every year, they announced what is going to be the subject of their next original adventures reincarnated. And this time, of course, everybody's favorite, the Temple of Elemental Evil. They are doing T1 through 4, so they're going to include the village of Hamlet as well. This reprint is going to update it for 5th edition. Also going to just like all the other adventures reincarnated, they're going to reprint the original, so it's going to be T1 to T4. Of course, T1, Village of Hamlet, and then 2, 3, and 4 is Temple of Elemental Evil. This release is going to, as I said, contain the original material scanned and cleaned up, and also they're going to give a new 5e translation in the second half of the book. So exciting.
Second volume, more likely.
Yes, well, and that's going to say, I was going to say, this time it's going to be special because unlike the other previous 5 volumes in the Ore line, the sheer size and scope of this one's going to require 2 hardcover volumes in a slipcase edition. Also going to have commentary about the original modules and the history of such. So that's exciting. Look for this to arrive in early 2021. Which kind of funny, their press release, I had to laugh. I left it in there just to see if anybody would say anything about it. Their press release said, look for it to arrive late in 2020 or early 2021. So apparently they wrote this press release a long time ago and forgot to edit it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look for this coming soon. They didn't give an exact date. Usually when they announce it, I want to say it's usually about 2 to 3 months ish before they come out. So probably maybe June-ish, July-ish, I'm guessing. But once I know the exact date, we'll be sure to talk about it. But right now they just said 2021.
See, it could come in with recording of Will Wheaton's commentary on the temple, right? Just kidding.
This is a dwarven translation of an Elvish word, so it is pronounced Sawajin.
Maybe not. And on the screen, Board Games Arena is acquired by Asmodee.
Everything is acquired by Asmodee. All your games belong to us. That is what Asmodee said. Yes, if you're not familiar with Board Game Arena, it is an online game playing thing. You can go on and play board games, but digitally. It's like Tabletopia, any of those. It's the same thing. This just is another one of those. This one is browser-based, though, so that's a little interesting about it. It was founded in 2010, and they do provide official online versions of over 250 different tabletop games. They do support 40 different languages. This move, where Asmodee bought them, is going to allow, of course, Asmodee games to get there faster, which would make sense. They did stress the fact that Board Game Arena is going to remain independent with all the current management at the helm. Just like every other acquisition Asmodee has done, they usually don't replace management, at least at first. Sometimes they do later on. Fantasy Flight Games, I'm looking at you. So there you go. Board Game Arena, now part of the Asmodee umbrella. Yay, I guess.
Well,
I've never actually used it, so I don't know. It's supposedly supposed to be one of the better online places to play games.
I'm just wondering, though, are they going to wind up... What about the games that aren't under the Asmodee umbrella?
I kind of wondered that too, but it sounded like nothing is going to change with how it operates. The only big aspect that's going to change is Asmodee games are going to get published on there faster than they have been. But it sounds like everything else, it's going to remain independent. You're still going to be able to play other publishers' games. I'm sure the Asmodee umbrella companies are going to be pushed a little harder than other games, but you know how it is. Like I said, I've never actually used Board Game Arena. It's supposedly supposed to be fairly easy to use. It's got
easier to use than Tabletopia.
Yeah. Tabletopia has a very, very steep learning curve. Board Game Arena is supposed to be much easier to use. I have to play with it sometimes. I've been meaning to, but I just never got around to doing it.
I know, because I could never use Tabletopia or Board Game Simulator or whatever that's called, Tabletop Simulator.
Tabletop Simulator, yeah. I have both of them and haven't really... I played like one game on Tabletop Simulator one time, and it wasn't that much fun, to be honest.
Yes, I've tried it a couple of them, and they've always been...
way too finicky.
Problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, way too finicky. I guess that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I have to check them out someday, maybe, or maybe not. We'll see how that goes. And that means that it's time for our Week in Gaming.
Willy Wonka says it best.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
No, I didn't do anything this week. This week was one of my weeks from hell that I often have, and this really was one of those weeks. So yeah, I unfortunately didn't play any games at all. Am going to play something this week though. Want to make sure I talk about what I'm going to be doing, and then next week you'll hear what happened-ish, spoiler-ish. I usually don't try to spoil it, but this Friday over on Evil Beaker's channel, we're going to be playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage again. So the Waterdeep Dwarves, plus one drow who is now a dwarf, which hopefully this is the week I'm not a stinking dwarf anymore. Beaker, I'm looking at you. It's about time you turned me back. Thank you, sir. We'll see what happens. The last time we played, we kind of had a cliffhanger. Involved a lot of rush monsters. It's going to get interesting. And like I said, hopefully this is the week I'm not a stinking dwarf anymore. I want to be a drow again.
You want to be a drow again.
All
All right.
It's all Bonnie Bu's fault anyway.
Oh, my.
If she would learn how to use a wish spell properly, this would never have happened. But no.
Always a problem.
So
Always a
since
problem.
I did absolutely nothing, hopefully you did all sorts of things, right?
Let us see what I did. Well, first of all, in DDO, the only thing that I have down there is what I did with you, strangely enough.
Yeah, which actually was 2 weeks ago, but sure.
Well, yes, but I don't think we reported that since we were too busy talking.
Oh, that's right, because our interview was actually the episode last week. We didn't have it. It's a long, complicated story. That's a really funny, inside baseball moment here of the show, because I know the listeners really do care about this. We had like nothing to talk about last week. So I told Pineleaf, hey, we're not going to record a show because there's nothing to talk about, like zero to talk about. And then not 5 minutes after that, I found out we could actually record that music interview episode. So I'm like, hey, we're doing a podcast after all. So yeah. Remember when I said we weren't recording? Scratch that, reverse. We're recording.
Oh, that's appropriate when you're putting in Wonka quotes.
I was just going to say, that's another Wonka reference.
So we did that, and we ran several Feywild quests: Kneel in a Fey Stack, The Legend of the Lost Locket, and Quid Pro Quo. And I'm hoping that if your week calms down enough to allow it, that we'll be able to finish it up the Feywild tomorrow.
Spoiler alert! No. The answer to that is no.
Someday you'll finish the Feywild.
Someday, which will be next Thursday evening. Not tomorrow, but next Thursday evening. But I can't wait. I can't wait till we finish, because I can't wait till we can do our review of the Feywild so I can rage on the worst quest in the history of DDO. Okay, second worst quest. Okay, third worst quest in the history of DDO.
Third worst
quest in the history of DDO is in the Feywild. I'm going to leave the spoiler there. I'll rage about it on our review, because poor Pine Leaf had to hear it the whole time we were running this stupid quest.
I must have blanked that out of my memory.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Because I was one step away from rage quitting, because that quest is stupid. Spoiler alert for the upcoming Feywild review. Pretty good. One quest sucks, but the rest is pretty good. There's a little teaser for you.
There's a little teaser. And then in ESO, I was playing a bit with the other podcast with some Terry and Sans Window. We've been playing some in Western Skyrim, so we've been doing that quest area. I think we're just catching up to where you and I were in our little playthrough of it.
Yes, that's something else
we're in
we
danger
need.
of passing that. Yes.
Something else we need to start again.
Yes.
After Feywild, we need to start that again, because I want to finish Greymoor, because that's awesome, because vampires.
Yeah, vampires. And also with that, I also created a new character, because since Linda was telling me that I had to run the new tutorial, the Greymoor tutorial, because since we came in from elsewhere, so we ran the prologue instead of the tutorial. So apparently the prologue, you get get introduced to Lyris's side of the story on where she comes from and going into Greymoor. While if you do the tutorial, you get to see the vampire side of the story.
Which that's the one that we did, I think, correct? We did the
No, we did the prologue.
Oh, okay.
We did the prologue.
It's been so long, I don't remember.
Because you can't do we couldn't do the tutorial because we were using existing characters.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
So I created a new character so I could see the tutorial. Then after the tutorial, I went and did the prologue. So I went through the prologue with that. Then after that, I was trying to figure out how do you do the main quest now that there's a new tutorial. Since they replaced the tutorial, how do you get into the Cold Harbor quest line? So I eventually found out that a messenger pops up at some point and says, meet our contact in wherever your home town is, and if you go and meet this contact, you get kidnapped, grabbed over the Cold Harbor. And of course, Lyris is suddenly there now. So it's like, which really made the whole thing, really makes the whole thing, right? She's introducing to me like I'd never seen her before because, of course, this is using clips from the original tutorial and doing this, getting rid of the teachy stuff in there, but otherwise it's the same story as the opening of the original game. And so, of course, Lyris is talking to you like she's never seen you before, despite the fact we just did this Greymoor prologue together, and we're starting the Greymoor quest line in there. So that was sort of a rather strange reversal of directions of doing stuff on what happened there. And then see what else did we. So I was working on that one. Then in Minecraft, I've been running the Minecraft Hardcore Challenge for February. So I have been doing where I'm supposed to be collecting honey in order to do a build involving honey. And I'm also supposed to be collecting flowers because February, a little bit of a theme, Valentine's theme thrown in for the February MHC in there. And I've been getting comments from Lessa.
I was going to ask if you were, because I got a text message from Lessa about you.
Right.
That I was going to surprise you with. But go ahead, talk about your comments.
Yeah. She was. Well, anyway, she's making various comments about what I'm doing in there, and also she is saying that I need to have do a collaboration with a certain other member of the girls, and not the girls. They're the damsels. The girls are Lotro side. Yes.
Yes, we need to make that happen still.
Okay.
That is going to be something that has to happen because it will be most epic once it happens.
We'll see how that works out. And what else have we got going on in there? So I was doing that, and I was doing some mage rages where, I think this last episode I had some really, I think the really long ones might have been in the last time I did this. So it looks like I'm getting under 3 hours again, so which is good. So I'm collecting things all over the place and try, the usual stuff on there. This month, the theme on Mage Rage is that all the mobs are invisible.
Oh, well, that's handy.
That's real handy. Now, they do have hearts coming out wherever they are, so you can see hearts coming along. So you can see if they're very, very low hearts coming off the ground, then you might guess that they're chickens or maybe pigs. And if they're relatively high up, then maybe they're Endermen. If the Enderman is holding something, you can see what the Enderman is holding. So at least that's another hint that it could be an Enderman going around or something like that. But yes, the mobs being invisible can make things really interesting. Fortunately, I always take the revealing spell, and the revealing spell, what it does is that is that when it's active, it outlines any mobs that are in the area. So they're invisible, but at least they're outlined, so I can tell what they are when I remember to use the revealing spell, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And then, of course, we have what I did in tabletop, which is I've been playing some I was playing some Memoir 44, so playing a couple of South Pacific game scenarios from Memoir 44, because I was doing a solo con where South was the theme. So of course, the South Pacific is what I was doing for those. Then I was playing a few games of role player and trying to make, See, I was trying to do a Dragonborn monk at one time, a halfling ranger, a dragon. I redid the Dragonborn monk because the first one came out so badly, and then a dark elf assassin. So I was doing those for certain challenges in there. The dark elf assassin, I think, I did so badly on there. I had my worst. I was going to Dark Elf Assassin, who was going to be facing against a vampire for the Minions and Monsters thing. It was like the worst character I ever created in all my time of playing role player. So that's 22 points. I mean, that's an awful score for role player. Then I played a couple of rounds of Cartographers, then some Commands and Colors Ancients, Carcassonne Island using Carcassonne Hunters and Gatherers, and then I was playing Seven Wonders Duel using the solo module that was recently put out for that. And that concludes my week in gaming. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. I was about to say that we have no comments or emails, but you said that there was a comment?
It wasn't a comment. It was just, I got it on Twitter.
Ah, okay.
It was a Twitter comment that I got. I would have to go find it. So there's technically no comments now. We don't.
All right.
Here lately, nobody's been like commenting. People are going to the website, just nobody's commenting on the website for some reason lately.
All right.
So do that. Go comment on the website. Send us an email. We haven't got an email for a while either.
If you want to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter. It's Players Alliance @Players Ally, DDO Players @DDO Players, Dracula @Dracula _2, and Piney Pet Piney Neals. And we know someone sent us a Twitter because Drac mentioned that already. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. US Central Time. We have DDO Players News on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. US Central Time. We have Locha Players News. You can source for our shows at DDOplayers.com/live.
It took 282 episodes for you to finally do that. I was wondering when the day was going to become you were forgetting which podcast you were on. 282 episodes. That's how long it took.
And this is Piney Neals reminding you to quest responsibly.